Peace, gods and earths. How everyone doing today? I hope everyone is looking good and feeling good. Of course, you back with the King, the host of King's Path of Success. And as usual, hopefully we'll bring you a message that's inspirational, motivational, and innovational to those who's trying to live a positive, constructive life. Now today we're going to cover, as usual, various topics, various discussions, but at the end of all topics and discussions, every show, we hope that something I say or some kind of message that I deliver will inspire you to get to where you need to be and also direct you to the help that maybe you need to be successful in the goals that you set before yourself. Today we're going to talk about hard work, dedication, goal setting, and the sacrifice that it takes to become successful, which that subject alone you can understand covers various subjects such as friends, family, and environment, because sometimes a noun could be the strongest thing in your life that could hurt you the most. So today, main thing will be focus. Focus is the first step to understanding where you're trying to go. Like, what are you focused on? Where are you focused? What are you focused to do? Who are you focused with? Is you enough? I believe as an individual, we are blessed with all tools that we need to be successful, to conquer all obstacles, to overcome every barrier that we face inside of life, no matter what's the setback. As I stated before, success is not a straight path. It is filled with zigzags, reverses, and go-arounds, climbing, hurdling. But the point is, to accomplish a goal, there is more than one route, no matter what the setback is. If I wanted to go to my grandma's house, I know 4 different ways to travel there. If I needed to go to a grocery store, I know 4 or 5 different ways to travel there. Point being is, if my goal is to get to them places, that sometimes you might get sidetracked and sometimes hurdles and obstacles step up in front of you, but you figure out and you are determined what to do. The first thing you do when you're headed out for a goal or trying to accomplish somewhere that you're headed is develop the mentality to refuse to lose. Accept yourself naturally for who you are, for what you are, and where you are. Be happy with the face that you wake up to see in the morning. Be happy with the conscience that you go to sleep with every single night. Be motivated, because the one gift inside this world that you offer the world that nobody else can take from you is your individuality. And understand that you are perfectly you, the way you're supposed to be. Don't depend on other people to see your vision or understand what you want to accomplish or where you headed in life, because the reason it's called your vision is because it's your vision. That is the first understanding of what you need to do, where you need to go, how you're going to get there. Believe in yourself. Understand you are strong enough. You were created with every tool and every ability that everyone else in this world was, so that you can conquer barriers and overjump hurdles that may stand before you. And don't never doubt yourself for another person's failure, because they haven't understood how to reach success in their own individual life. Don't never be poisoned by their own negativity and the ways they think, the way they move. And sometimes it will be the generational poor way of thinking that sets you back and make you self-conscious and doubt yourself. Some of us think, my mom only made it this successful. My dad was only this successful. My grandmother, she only was that successful. My cousins only made it to this point. That do not put a ceiling on your capability and where you can go. You learn from their paths. You develop skills. You pick up knowledge, and then you apply the wisdom that you gain on these obstacles in order to be successful to your own goals, for your own focus. And always remember, knowledge is key. The more you know, the more you're capable of. The more you learn from your mistakes, the stronger you get when you make your perfections. The more knowledge that you can spread, build, help inside your community or to the people that you actually care for are building blocks of character that makes you very beneficial for everyone that shares a room or environment with you at any time. We're going to come back in a second. We're going to take a quick break. I just want y'all guys to let that marinate on your mind, but we're going to take a small intermission, and you'll be back with Kings, a King's Path of Success. Peace, gods and earths. Peace, gods and earths. We are back. I hope you've been enjoying the show so far. I hope you've been taking in the lessons and messages that I've been giving out. Now we're going to talk about dismissal. Dismissal is the way that you remove yourself. Sometimes we get caught up in personal feelings and we let our emotions control the way that we think, the way that we move, the way that we think about things prior to them even being accomplished or being done. So let me make you understand this. Okay, it's hard for some of us, but part of dismissal is sacrifice. So sacrifice is knowing what's best for yourself at the moment that it's best for you. Sometimes you'll have friends that you'll love to death, and they'll be very close to you and they understand, but then you got to ask questions. Are they really your friend? Are they actually pushing for you to be the best person you can be? Do they have the best interest in your heart? If when you share an environment with them and that you talk to them, you spend time with them, is it beneficial to your own character? And is you building positive, constructive characteristics out of your relationships? Or are you creating negative walls that block you from getting to where you need to be? Now, this comes in various ways. This could be family. This could be friends. Sometimes you got to have the strength to know to say to someone, I love you, but I cannot hang out with you. We cannot chill together because we cannot build together. And facts of the matter is, you want to be successful for your life, your goal, your future, your family. You want the people that love you to be proud of you and shine whenever and wherever you are. You cannot leave them decisions in other people's hands because they are affected from their own journeys inside this world that we call life. So therefore, you do not want to create doubt in yourself, being surrounded by people who have doubt in their selves. You have to understand that you have the power of positivity. It means laws of attraction. You do positive. Surround yourself in positive. You will attract positive. But if you surround yourself in negativity and you share your time in negative spaces, you should not expect anything other than a negative result. And that's stupid of any of us to believe that we could take shortcuts our whole life and know what to do to get to the light. That wouldn't make no sense at all. So sometimes in your life, you got to look at your family members and you got to tell them you appreciate all life lessons that you have learned from them and the time that you spent for them. But maybe the time that we have, our era, is over, and I have to move on to something bigger and better for me. Not better than you, but something better for me. Because the vision I have, the want that I have, the will that I have, the sacrifice I made, the family I take care of, the people who love me depend on me to be a leader and guide them to ways of success, the way that I wish that somebody would have guided me. At the end of life, you can't blame nobody for your downfalls and your letdowns. You have to learn in this world to be your own hero, to believe in yourself when times seem dark, to know when you look in the mirror, you're gorgeous and you made perfect. because you was made perfectly to be the person you are. You was made to look the way you look, move the way you look, talk the way you talk, think the way you think. You can't let someone disturb you from your path. And you have to believe when haters say they don't believe. Sometimes just the belief you have in yourself, the confidence you have in yourself is what some people need to rub off on them to make their life better, their day shinier, their path more open, their eyes more open, their goals more organized, and prioritizing their wants and developing the willpower to get to where they are. I always teach and tell people, you're something even when you're nothing. For us as men, we wake up, we walk out our house, we could be homeless, we could be without a job, uneducated, we could be a lot of things. But even when you're at that point in life where you don't have a roof over your head, food to eat, you are still somebody. When you walk outside, there's a little boy who's being raised by a single mother, and he's looking to men that's in his environment, his community, and he's learning how to be a man. So everything you do in your essence matters. The way you walk, the way you talk, the way you conduct yourself, the way you treat other people, the way you speak to other people, the respect that you give off, the principles you live by, the integrity that you show, the honor that you have in your meanings. That is lessons that's being taught to viewers that you probably don't even interact with, because your life, you breathing and moving, has purpose. And most of us don't believe that, and we give up and we quit, and we feel like the fight's too hard, and we feel like this is too much for you to handle, and this burden on your back is too heavy. But when you get to that point, recognize you've been carrying the burden. You have always been strong enough. It was never too big for you. So therefore, you are made to conquer. You are stronger than you think. And the things in life that held you back and that you filled of regret, understand to appreciate who you are. You were strong enough to get through it. You were strong enough to have the willpower to survive it. You were built with the ability to navigate out of it. You can talk about it as a past incident or a baggage in your life because you no longer suffer from that weight. And in life, we forget to pat ourselves on the back and appreciate who we are, what we did, how we did it, and how we got there. I'm here to tell you, appreciate yourself, love yourself, understand yourself, accept yourself. Because if you don't accept you, the rest of the world won't. Be proud at who you are. Understand, if you come from poverty, most people that's not from poverty probably would have killed themselves growing up in what was your normal environment or your normal predicament. So the power you have, your durability, your resilientness, the knowledge you gain, the mental and emotional strength that you earned has made you more valuable than most people that walks this earth. You are not beneath nobody. You are not below no bar. You are not weaker than nobody else. You are inspiration in the flesh, and you just need to share it with the world. But we're going to take one more small intermission, and we're going to come back and wrap this show up. And we're going to cover a little bit more, but think about it. Let it marinate on your mind, like I always say. Stay looking good, feeling good. You'll be back in a minute with King, and this is King's Path of Success. How are you doing, gods and earths? I'm glad that you're back with the King. I hope you didn't leave your seat and that you're still following the show. Now, a lot of us need somebody as a support system, which it do not make you weak at all, because sometimes building a great foundation is how you build that high rise in the sky. So therefore, be smart about who you choose to share your time with. Be smart about who you choose to share your space with. You know, advice to young girls: don't never feel peer pressure from your friends or your family members to grow up faster, to move faster, to do things faster in life than you need to be. When you're a child, enjoy being a child, but also taking the lessons that would make you a knowledgeable adult on the path. So as a child, accept your individuality and understand that you don't need to be in cliques or gangs or groups, because y'all do not share the same vision as individuals to get to the destination that you're looking to get to inside your life. You know, a lot of boys, they act tough at young ages and they think it's cool to be mean or bullies. I can beat him up. I can sell these drugs. My sneakers is the flyest. My clothes is better than yours. I have Jews, you don't. My house is nicer. My car is nicer. And what happens is they get so blinded by materialistic, shallow things that they haven't gained the depth that it takes to have the work ethic to gain the things that they admire from afar. See, to the most of the world, that nice car, those Jews, those clothes, it looks nice and you wish to look like that. But no one ever talks to you about how many nights a person didn't eat. How many times did a person have to walk and not have a car? How long did a person work for free to get into the position they are? How many times were they underpaid? How many people gave up on them when they messed up in life? How many friends no longer exist that they thought was lifetime friends? How many family members that you thought was your closest stabbed you in your back? How many times was you left alone to cry in the dark when nobody else was looking? How many people cared when you felt broken inside this world and was trying to figure out the will to fight? And what happens is, don't never get blinded from the things you see, because it came with a sacrifice. It came with a cost. In order for you to get to where you are, you have to understand it. You have to grasp that life is a fight, and it's an uphill fight. Half of us that's minority in particular, or suffering or grew up impoverished, it is an uphill battle. The people around you is not telling you you could be a lawyer, a doctor. Half the people in these neighborhoods are dependent on being an athlete because they have no idea that they own the intellect to be greater than anything that their wildest imagination has ever entered inside their brain. But I'm here to tell you, you can. You could be anything. Inside my household, to my children, I teach them that there's two words that is not allowed inside my house, which is quit and can't. My children do not and is not allowed to say quit and can't inside my house, because those are two words that do not exist until you make it possible. In order for you to quit, it means that you gave up. You don't have the willpower, the heart to muster to get to your goals. And in my household, that is not allowed. You cannot say can't, because inside this world, there's nothing you can't do. There's things you choose not to do, but there's nothing you can't do. If one of my children tell me that they can't do something, I let them know as clear as day. It's not that you can't do it, you choose not to learn it, or you choose not to want it enough to do it. But there is nothing stopping you in this world from getting to it but willpower. And that I do not allow. The dynamic of a household, of a leader, of somebody who leads their household. They do it by example in front of their face. And I work very hard in my house to show my children in their face how a person could change, how a person could fight for more, how a person could outseed anything people predicted of them, because they just simply have to believe in themselves. I teach them, do not take shortcuts, because shortcuts create lazy people. I tell them to earn the right to take a shortcut by learning the right way to do things, to stay on the right type of path. So inside the message that I'm giving off, that's not all about me, that I hope that you take from it, is understand and respect your children are stronger than what you know. They have a bigger heart than what you know. They are way more capable than what you know. And sometimes we got to look at them and let them know that I believe in you. Everything that's great in me, I have put inside of you. And you hope that it helps them live a constructive life. We're going to take our last intermission. Then I'm going to give you final words before we wrap up today. But just know there's love in the world and love in your heart. Peace, gods and earths. I'll see you in a second. How you doing, gods and earths? We about to close up tonight. I hope everyone been sticking and watching the show. Hope you had some popcorn. Hope you got a good positive message out of this. But my last words to you guys is, I just want you to know, we live by so many lies out in the streets that sometimes we forget to tell each other the truth. So to my young guys, young men, young gentlemen, it do not make you real being in no gang. It do not make you real selling drugs. It do not make you real that you can beat up people around your neighborhood. It do not make you real that you disrespect and talk to people with slang without showing no form of vocabulary or knowledge. It do not make you a white boy if you're a minority because you talk with an intellect or a high vocabulary, because for some reason we relate big minds and vocabulary to white people and not ourselves. It do not make you weak because you choose not to fight. It do not make you weak because you choose not to argue. It makes you smart and it makes you strong. And if any man teach you that to sacrifice your life, your family life, because understand, if you wind up in jail, it don't only affect you, it affects everyone that loves you. Your children, your mom, your aunts, your uncle, your cousins, your close friends who never wanted nothing bad to happen. You're not the only one going to jail. They're going right with you. Understand, being a tough guy standing on a corner do not make you a doctor. It's never going to get you there. It's not going to make you successful. It's going to make you take unnecessary risk in your life that sets you back farther than the generational curses of the ignorance that we all suffer from. You cannot change generational wealth if you move the same, act the same, see the same, do the same all of the time. It takes change to make change. If you change your mind, you will change your life. You do not have to feel beaten or defeated because you're struggling. We all are. So I hope that from today's show that you take the message that you are good enough. You are strong enough. You are beautiful in your essence and your purpose. You were created to be a treasure amongst your family. You were created to be a trophy for your parents to show off. And I want you to conduct yourself and act as such. And I just want you to know we're proud of you. And you have a great day. This is King's Path of Success. Peace, gods and earths. Hope I see you next week.